Ever walked into the wrong bathroom? It's awkward, right? Now imagine doing it when you're mega famous. Ashley bolted into the ladies' room at Radio City Music Hall, practically sprinting. Her best friend was due any minute, and she was kicking herself for that extra large soda earlier. Fixing her hair in the mirror, a weird sound drifted from the stall next to her. Hey, could you slide some toilet paper? Ashley froze. Wait, what? She glanced around like maybe she'd accidentally stumbled into some bizarre co-ed restroom in a parallel universe. Excuse me, toilet paper situation here, ran out, help a guy out. Ashley blinked. Do you realize you're in the women's restroom? Yeah, I do now. And honestly, that's not my biggest problem at the moment. Seriously? Invading the ladies' room is cool, but a TP shortage is a crisis. Ashley couldn't help but smirk. Priorities, people. Look, I'm already mortified, okay? Just toss some paper over, please. She crossed her arms, even though he couldn't see. I don't think so. An impatient sigh echoed from the stall. What do you mean, no? Exactly that. Why would I assist a random stranger who barged into the women's room? Random? He repeated, voice rising in outrage. Ma'am, I just need paper, not a full-blown FBI investigation. Ashley grinned, loving his escalating panic. Maybe a little time in there will be good for reflection. You know, life choices? Next time, check the sign, buddy. Oh my God, are you lecturing me while I'm trapped in here? Ashley chuckled. Consider it a public service announcement. Silence, then a deep, weary sigh. Fine. Deal. Paper for a VIP ticket. Jake Ryan, backstage access tonight. Ashley's eyes narrowed. Wait, Jake Ryan? The Jake Ryan? Yeah, the Jake Ryan. Desperate times, desperate measures, VIP pass for freedom. Deal? She crossed her arms again. Emotional blackmail. Classic. Hey, at least I'm honest. 1 point for integrity, right? He sounded genuinely pleading now. Ashley pretended to consider it, tapping a finger to her chin. How do I know this ticket is even real? Because I'm Jake Ryan and I'm begging you. What more proof do you need? She bit back a laugh. Still not convinced it's a fair trade. Ma'am, for the love of all that is holy. She heard paper crumpling, then a moment later a ticket slid under the stall door. Ashley bent and picked it up. Looks legit. Because it is. Now paper, please. She tore off a generous chunk of toilet paper and shoved it under the door. Here you go, your highness of desperation. Finally, look, Favor, you go out first, okay? Ashley raised an eyebrow. Suspicious much? If we both walk out at the same time, it's going to look weird. He actually sounded embarrassed now. She laughed. It already is weird, buddy. Just go. Wow, cranky, need a hug? I need you gone. Ashley rolled her eyes, but unlocked the stall door and slung her bag over her shoulder. She stepped out of the bathroom, still chuckling. Tucking the ticket into her purse, she headed down the hall. Then, the buzz started, voices rising behind her. She turned, and there he was, the guy from the stall, emerging from the women's restroom, adjusting a baseball cap. A girl's eyes widened. Hey, isn't that... Oh my God, it's Jake Ryan! Chaos exploded. What was he doing in the ladies' room? Who's that girl who came out first? Must be his new girlfriend. Someone pointed right at Ashley. Jake Ryan froze, clearly regretting his escape strategy. Ashley stood rooted to the spot in the hallway, a deer in headlights. This couldn't be happening. But it was. The ladies' room, supposed to be a sanctuary, was now ground zero for a celebrity scandal. A shiver ran down her spine as every eye in the hallway locked on her, like she was wearing a flashing neon sign that screamed guilty. Jake, still pathetically trying to hide under his cap, looked like he wanted to vanish. A hysterical shriek ripped through the air. Then the stampede began. Phones whipped out, flashes erupted, and the roar of people shouting Jake's name drowned out all rational thought. It's him! Get a picture! Who is that girl? Ashley felt her brain short-circuit. Run! Jake yelled, grabbing her wrist and yanking her through the crowd. What? Was all she managed to shout before being dragged into the pandemonium. Jake bulldozed through the fans, shoving open a side door and hauling them backstage. Ashley tripped, nearly face-planting, but somehow stayed upright. Hey, she protested, pulling her arm free. Who do you think you are, dragging me around like that? Jake slammed the door shut, locking it, breathing heavily. You wanted me to leave you back there? Yes, she exclaimed. Maybe then I could have explained I had nothing to do with this. Oh, sure, because that crowd would have listened patiently, right? He retorted, dripping sarcasm. Ashley huffed. Great. Now I'm officially the girl who got caught leaving the bathroom with Jake Ryan. Just wonderful. Jake ran a hand through his hair, clearly as frustrated as she was. This isn't my fault. You were the one who took forever to hand over the paper. Oh no, don't you dare put this on me. You're the one who decided to take a sightseeing tour of the women's restroom. I was stuck, and I thanked you. They glared at each other for a beat, both huffing like angry teenagers. Then a knock on the door. Jake, you in there? Jake groaned, closing his eyes for a split second. Damn it, Ashley frowned. Who is that? My manager. The door swung open, and a woman in sunglasses and a power suit walked in, followed by a flustered-looking assistant. She glanced at Jake, then at Ashley, and squinted like she was already developing a migraine. I really hope there's a plausible explanation for what just happened. Ashley shrank back. You want to start, or should I? She murmured to Jake. He sighed. Misunderstanding. Wrong bathroom. End of story. And how does this girl fit into this misunderstanding? The manager said, pointing at Ashley. I just wanted to use the bathroom in peace. Ashley threw her hands up. The manager massaged her temples. Great. This is already blowing up on social media. Ashley's eyes widened. What? The assistant held out a phone. A video, thousands of views, Jake emerging from the ladies' room, Ashley right behind him. Headline, Jake Ryan spotted leaving women's restroom with mystery girl. Pictures of her face everywhere. Ashley felt the blood drain from her face. Oh no. Jake snatched the phone from the assistant, scanned the comments, and sighed. Oh, fantastic. Now they're saying it's a secret relationship. He looked at Ashley. I don't even know you. Try telling that to the internet, Ashley muttered. Jake tossed the phone back to the manager. So, now what? She sighed. Now we have a plan. Ashley raised an eyebrow. We do? The manager actually smiled. A thin, professional smile. If we spin this right, we can change the narrative. Damage control. Ashley crossed her arms. How exactly? The manager adjusted her glasses. Publicly, you and Jake are just friends. Seen together, casually. Dinner, maybe. Change the story before it becomes a full-blown scandal. Jake Ryan spotted with fan. That's the headline we want. Ashley blinked. You want me to have dinner with this guy? She gestured at Jake, incredulous. But why would I agree to dinner with this annoying... Jake narrowed his eyes. Annoying? You almost left me to rot in that bathroom. Oh, so dramatic. You were in there for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes that felt like a lifetime. What an exaggeration. You've never run out of toilet paper before, have you? That's not the point. The manager sighed, patience clearly wearing thin. Enough. Ashley? Ashley huffed. I still don't see why I should agree to this ridiculous dinner. But then an idea sparked. Brittany. Her best friend, Brittany, who was practically a walking, breathing Jake Ryan fan club. Her room was a shrine. Brittany had cried for a week when she missed ticket sales for his last concert. If Ashley had the chance to have dinner with Jake Ryan and turned it down. Best friend status officially revoked. She sighed. Does this dinner include actual food or just a forced smile agreement? The manager's smile widened, slightly less strained this time. Real food, fancy restaurant, on us. Ashley scoffed, but she knew she couldn't pass this up for Brittany's sake. Fine, I'll go. Jake raised an eyebrow. Really? Just like that. Don't give me any reason to change my mind. The manager nodded briskly. Great. Dinner tomorrow night. Public place. Casual. We'll handle the details. Ashley closed her eyes, already regretting everything. What have I gotten myself into? Jake smirked. Welcome to the celebrity world. Ashley rolled her eyes. Definitely too late to back out now. Say that again? Brittany practically shrieked into the phone. You're having dinner with Jake Ryan? The Jake Ryan? Ashley winced, pulling the phone away from her ear. Are you trying to make me deaf, or what? Ashley, how could you not tell me this sooner? Because I'm still trying to figure out how I ended up in this situation, Brittany gasped dramatically. And you're complaining? I would sell my soul for a dinner with him. Ashley sighed. Okay, calm down, fangirl. Do you want to come with me as my +1? Silence. A beat, 2, 3. Of course I do! All right, you're invited. But fair warning, this guy is seriously annoying. Brittany chuckled. And you're a pain in the butt. Perfect match, really. Shut up, Ashley muttered, staring at her reflection in the mirror, still trying to process the whole thing. Ashley and Brittany entered the restaurant, and Ashley immediately felt underdressed. The decor was ridiculously posh, all velvet and chandeliers. A waiter led them to a secluded table in the back. Brittany, however, was in pure, unadulterated bliss. This is actually happening. I'm having dinner with Jake Ryan. Yep. And I'm having dinner with the guy who took a wrong turn into the ladies' room. Feels like a fever dream. Brittany rolled her eyes. You have no idea how much I love you for this. Great. So you can start paying for my therapy after this. Before Brittany could retort, Jake Ryan appeared. He walked in. Baseball cap low, sunglasses on, trying for incognito. But when you're Jake Ryan, low-key is impossible. He looked more like he was on the run from the paparazzi than trying to blend in. He approached the table, took off his sunglasses, and offered a strained smile. Hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. Brittany's smile was so wide it looked like her face might crack. No way, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Ashley crossed her arms. I can't say the same. Jake narrowed his eyes at her. Oh, what a surprise. Brittany looked back and forth between them, sensing the palpable tension. Okay, you two clearly don't like each other. It's not my fault if he's a smug, self-absorbed smart aleck. And it's not my fault if she's a cynical pain in the neck. The waiter appeared, blessedly interrupting the escalating argument. Can I take your order? Ashley grabbed a menu. I'll have the most expensive thing on the menu. Jake raised an eyebrow. You're kidding, right? Nope. You got me into this, so at least I'm going to eat well. Brittany laughed nervously. I'll just have a regular dish, thank you. Jake rolled his eyes and placed his order. Once the waiter left, Ashley and Jake resumed their staring contest, utensils practically vibrating with pent-up animosity. Can you at least try to look like you're enjoying yourself? He grumbled. Enjoying myself? I'm only here because my friend guilt-tripped me into it. Oh, sure, because a free dinner at a fancy restaurant is such a huge punishment for you. Not everything in life can be bought with money, Jake Ryan, Ashley said pointedly. Says the person who ordered the most expensive dish on the menu. Ashley opened her mouth to retort, but Brittany jumped in, diffusing the situation before it escalated into a full-blown food fight. Okay, enough you two. You sound like kids fighting over the last cookie. Ashley scoffed. He started it. You started it! That's a lie. Oh my god, are you two going to keep this up all night? The waiter returned with drinks, and an awkward silence descended while he served them. Once he was gone, Brittany turned to Jake, eyes shining. So, tell me, what's it like being a worldwide star? He actually smiled, a genuine, charming smile that Ashley had yet to witness directed at her. It's amazing. Surreal sometimes, but it has its challenges. Fame can be overwhelming. Wow, I bet people recognize you everywhere, right? Brittany was practically vibrating with excitement. Yep, even in women's restrooms apparently, Jake said, glancing at Ashley with a smirk. Ashley almost choked on her water. You didn't miss that chance, did you? Never. Brittany laughed. Okay, now I need to know. Jake, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened with a fan? Jake thought for a moment, then chuckled. Well, once, a fan showed up at my hotel door pretending to be a housekeeper, trying to sneak into my room. Ashley's eyes widened. What? Yep. And the worst part is, it almost worked. But then she tripped and dropped the breakfast tray she was holding, so everyone realized she wasn't hotel staff. Brittany gasped. Oh my god, I would never do something like that. Of course not, Ashley interjected dryly, because it's so much more normal to break into a women's restroom to get a VIP ticket, right? Ashley grabbed a breadstick and hurled it at him. You're never going to let that go, huh? Never. The dinner continued, punctuated by more teasing jabs, but something shifted. The sharp edges of their initial animosity started to soften, replaced by a playful undercurrent. Despite the insults, there was a definite, if begrudging, amusement in their exchanges. When dessert arrived, Brittany leaned in and whispered to Ashley conspiratorially, You're liking him. Ashley nearly choked on her ice cream. What? No. Yes, you are. I can tell you're enjoying the fight. I hate him. Jake noticed their hushed conversation and looked at them suspiciously. What's going on over there? Nothing, Ashley answered a little too quickly. He narrowed his eyes. Suspicious, right. Later the bill arrived. Jake reached for his wallet, but Ashley put her hand on his. I'll pay. He looked at her surprised. Really? Of course not. Just wanted to see your reaction. Jake rolled his eyes. You're really unbearable, and you're really spoiled. Brittany laughed. I never thought dinner with Jake Ryan would be this fun. Jake gave Ashley a smug look. See? At least one of you thinks I'm likable. Ashley scoffed. Yeah, well, don't get used to it. Leaving the restaurant, a few paparazzi still lingered, snapping pictures, but it was nothing like the hallway chaos. Jake pulled his hat and sunglasses back on, attempting to disappear into the New York night. Well, it was a pleasure having dinner with you, Brittany, he said, shaking her hand. The pleasure was all mine, Brittany gushed. Jake turned to Ashley. And you try not to make my life miserable for the rest of your life, okay? No promises. Jake laughed. A genuine laugh this time. See you around then. He hopped into the waiting car. Ashley and Brittany stood on the sidewalk for a moment, watching it pull away. Brittany turned to Ashley, a mischievous grin spreading across her face. You're screwed. Why? Because you two together are like a rom-com waiting to happen. Ashley crossed her arms. No way. Brittany rolled her eyes. Of course not. Ashley sighed. She was definitely caught in something she didn't know how to escape. Ashley and Brittany strolled down the sidewalk after dinner, still reeling from the evening's events. Brittany couldn't stop grinning. I still can't believe I just had dinner with Jake Ryan. This is unreal. Ashley, on the other hand, rolled her eyes at every excited exclamation from her friend. It was just dinner, Brittany. Brittany stopped dead in her tracks and stared at her incredulous. Just dinner? Just dinner? You spent the whole night arguing with one of the most famous guys in the world, and you're acting like you just grabbed a burger at the corner diner. So what? He's just a normal person. Brittany sighed dramatically, placing her hands on Ashley's shoulders. My friend, you have no idea what you did tonight. You went toe-to-toe with him. You weren't impressed by his fame. So what? So he clearly liked that, Brittany declared. Ashley scoffed. You're out of your mind. He thinks I'm unbearable. Uh-huh. And yet he kept teasing you the whole night. Ashley opened her mouth to argue, but Brittany just smiled knowingly. Exactly. You don't have a comeback for that. Before she could retort, Brittany's phone buzzed. She checked it, and her eyes widened. Oh my God. What? Did Jake Ryan just declare his undying love for me on Twitter? Ashley said sarcastically. We're going viral, Brittany exclaimed, shoving the phone in Ashley's face. Ashley frowned and grabbed the phone. Twitter was exploding. Photos of their dinner were everywhere. Jake Ryan seen dining with mystery girl from the bathroom. Who is she? Jake Ryan spotted with mystery girl and another friend. New couple alert? Ashley felt her stomach drop. Oh no. She kept scrolling, each post more ridiculous than the last. The chemistry between them seemed intense. Has Jake finally found someone who challenges him? Sources say the singer seemed very comfortable with his companion. Love at first sight? Ashley let out a frustrated groan. Is this what happens when I just want to eat in peace? Brittany, however, seemed more thrilled than alarmed. Girl, if I didn't know you, I'd say you're actually enjoying this. Ashley looked at her like she wanted to strangle her. You think I want the whole world to think I'm his girlfriend? Well, thinking about it, yes. Ashley sighed. I'm going to put an end to this rumor before it gets completely out of control. She grabbed her own phone and started furiously typing a tweet. I am not dating Jake Ryan. I only went to dinner because I was pressured into it. Please stop including me in your ridiculous theories. Thanks. Brittany read over her shoulder. A little over the top, don't you think? You sound like you're issuing a cancellation statement. That's exactly what I want. She hit send. 5 seconds later, a notification popped up. Jake Ryan liked your tweet. Ashley blinked. What? And as if that wasn't bad enough, he replied. Forced? You seemed like you were having fun. He must be kidding. Brittany burst out laughing. This is amazing! He's publicly trolling you. Ashley felt a mix of anger and something she couldn't quite name bubbling inside her. What did I do to deserve this? Her phone vibrated again, this time a private message. Relax, princess. It'll blow over soon. Ashley read it 3 times before letting out a frustrated grunt. Princess? Brittany bent over, howling with laughter. I love this guy. Ashley started typing a scathing reply, but then another notification popped up. A video call from an unknown number. She frowned. Who the hell is calling me at this hour? Brittany peered at the screen. Answer it. Might be important. Maybe it's Jake. Ashley hesitated, then picked up. Hello? The screen showed a woman with her hair pulled back and a stern expression. Miss Ashley? Ashley frowned. Yes? Who's this? The woman adjusted her glasses. I'm Jake's team assistant. Ashley rolled her eyes. Oh, for goodness sake, what now? The woman cleared her throat. We need your help to control the narrative. Oh, now you need me? Interesting. Ashley crossed her arms. It's important to keep this from growing more than it should. And what do you want me to do this time? The assistant hesitated before responding. We could arrange a casual appearance with Jake to calm the rumors. Ashley's eyes widened. A casual appearance? Are you serious? Something simple, maybe coffee. Oh, of course, because nothing screams casual like a rehearsed coffee date with a celebrity, Ashley said, dripping sarcasm. Brittany nudged Ashley with her elbow. Girl, this is going to be iconic. Ashley glared at her friend, feeling utterly betrayed. You're enjoying this way too much. Brittany smiled innocently. Of course, I'm living my dream. Through you. The assistant cleared her throat impatiently. Can we count on you, Miss Ashley? Ashley took a deep breath. She could refuse, just say no, end this ridiculous charade. But then she thought about Twitter. The The fans, the tabloids, the crazy theories. If she did nothing, they'd just keep making things up. She pinched the bridge of her nose. Fine. But let's be clear, this is just to put an end to the rumors. The assistant's voice brightened. Great. We'll schedule it for tomorrow afternoon. Ashley sighed. I can't believe my life has turned into this. The call ended. Brittany grabbed Ashley's shoulders, beaming. I just want to say I'm so proud of you. Ashley gave her a sour look. I hate you. I know. The next day, Ashley walked into the coffee shop and spotted Jake sitting in a corner booth, glued to his phone. She walked over, crossed her arms, and leaned against the table. This is ridiculous. He looked up, a half smile flickering across his face. Good morning to you too, sunshine. Ashley slid into the booth, facing him, and glanced around. A few people were subtly watching them. You realize we're in the middle of a performance, right? You agreed to come, Jake pointed out, still scrolling on his phone. Nobody forced you. Jake laughed, finally looking up from his screen. Relax. We just have to be here for like half an hour. Smile for the cameras, look vaguely interested, and then we're out. Ashley sighed. Fine, let's just get this over with. Jake raised an eyebrow. You really hate me, don't you? The word isn't hate, it's tolerate, in homeopathic doses. He laughed, amused. Is that the closest thing to a compliment I'm going to get? Yep, get used to it. He shook his head, still smiling. I like a challenge. Ashley felt a faint shiver run down her spine. She was definitely in over her head. She poked at the edge of her coffee cup, trying to ignore the fact that everyone in the coffee shop was discreetly trying to capture their casual coffee date. Jake, on the other hand, seemed completely unfazed. Do you have some kind of problem with your coffee or something? He asked, amusement dancing in his eyes. Ashley huffed. My problem is with this whole circus, this charade. You agreed to come, he repeated mildly. Again, nobody twisted your arm. Jake gave a wry smile. I already said, we just need to pretend we're having fun. You can pretend, right? Ashley narrowed her eyes. Did you just call me fake? No, I'm saying you have a talent for sarcasm. Let's see if you can apply it to looking social. She gave a forced, brittle laugh. Oh, wow, you're so funny. Thanks. I practice in front of the mirror every day. Ashley rolled her eyes and finally took a sip of her lukewarm coffee. Okay, so what's part 2 of your genius plan? Oh, mastermind of deception. Jake shrugged, nonchalantly. We just smile, talk, act like normal people. Normal people don't need to rehearse a coffee date to fool the internet, she pointed out dryly. He laughed. True, but I'm not exactly a normal person, am I? No, you're a walking magnet for trouble. Jake smiled, as if that were high praise. You know, this pointless hatred of yours? It's just making me more curious. Ashley raised an eyebrow, genuinely surprised. Curious? Yeah. Most people freak out when they meet me. Fans, paparazzi, even other celebrities. You treat me like I'm a nuisance. You are a nuisance. And you like that? She finished, a hint of disbelief in her voice. He smiled, a slow, enigmatic smile, maybe. Ashley sighed, crossing her arms again. Look, you may be an international superstar and all, but I'm not a fan. So, yeah, you annoy me. A lot. Jake rested his chin on his hand, studying her intently. Maybe that's why I find it interesting talking to you. Ashley rolled her eyes. Oh, please. Save your charm for someone who actually falls for that routine. Before he could respond, a woman appeared beside their table. Jake? They both looked up. A tall brunette, impeccably dressed, stood there, a smile plastered on her face that seemed way too rehearsed. Ashley furrowed her brow. Who's that? The woman smiled, as if she hadn't heard the question. What a coincidence running into you here. Jake let out a barely audible sigh and forced a smile. Veronica. Hey. Ashley noticed the subtle tension in his posture, the way his smile tightened. Veronica pulled out a chair, uninvited, and sat down next to Jake, completely ignoring Ashley's existence. How have you been? It's been a while. Yeah, I've been busy, Jake replied, his voice clipped. I can imagine. She shot a quick, dismissive glance at Ashley like she were a stain on the tablecloth. Ashley bristled. She didn't like that one bit. Hey, Ashley interjected, voice sharp. I am here, if anyone noticed. Veronica smiled, a glacial, insincere smile. Oh, sorry, I just assumed you were... Well, never mind. She paused, sizing Ashley up again. Never mind. Ashley raised an eyebrow. Wow, your disdain is so subtle, I almost didn't notice. Jake coughed, as if trying to stifle a laugh. Veronica ignored him. I heard about the scandal. The rumors are everywhere. She crossed her arms, her smile widening, predatory. "I wonder how you're going to handle this, Jake." Ashley felt the air thicken, the tension crackling. "Why do you care?" she asked, her voice dangerously low. Veronica finally acknowledged her, turning her gaze on Ashley like she was dissecting a particularly uninteresting lab specimen. "I just found it interesting. Jake's never been involved in these kinds of controversies before." Jake rolled his eyes. "Veronica, it was a misunderstanding. End of story." "Of course it was." Ashley caught the sharp, almost possessive tone in Veronica's voice. There was definitely something more than just professional interest going on here. She crossed her arms, leaning back in her chair. "So, what are you? His ex-girlfriend?" Veronica laughed, a brittle, humorless sound, but didn't deny it. "Oh, honey, I'm much more than that." Jake groaned. "You're a headache, that's what you are." Veronica smiled triumphantly. "You never complained before." Ashley furrowed her brow. "Do I really need to be here for this therapy session?" Veronica ignored her again. "Well, it was nice seeing you, Jake." She stood up, casting one last lingering look at Ashley. "Enjoy your new company. Hope it lasts." And with that, she swept away, leaving a palpable chill in the air. Ashley turned to Jake. "What the hell was that?" He rubbed his temples, sighing. "Long story." "I've got time." Jake sighed again. "She was my manager. For years. And we also had a thing." Ashley's eyes widened. "So it's true?" "Yeah. And no, I'm not involved with her anymore." Ashley crossed her arms thoughtfully. "Looks like she hasn't exactly moved on." Jake laughed, without humor. Not a surprise. Ashley could tell the topic clearly bothered him more than he wanted to admit. "Well, at least now we have something in common," Ashley said, breaking the silence. Jake raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what's that?" "I don't like her either." This time, Jake actually laughed. A genuine, relieved sound. "Glad to know we have something in common." Ashley gave a small, almost imperceptible smirk. "Let's see how long this unlikely alliance lasts." Jake looked at her, a playful glint returning to his eyes. "I think it'll be interesting to find out." They continued their coffee date, the atmosphere lighter, the tension eased. They shared a new, unexpected connection, their mutual dislike of Veronica. But deep down, Ashley knew this was just the beginning of their complicated, chaotic story. And she was right. As they left the cafe, the paparazzi were waiting, a hungry pack ready to pounce. At that moment, the real chaos was just beginning. Ashley barely had time to process Veronica's unsettling appearance before they stepped out of the coffee shop. The instant they hit the sidewalk, the flashes began, a blinding storm of light. Ashley blinked, shielding her eyes, but it was too late. They were surrounded. "Jake, over here!" "Jake, who's this girl? Is it true you're dating?" "Ashley, how long have you known Jake?" Veronica already commented on this. Did you steal him from her? Ashley felt a cold dread creep down her spine. The coffee she'd just consumed suddenly felt like lead in her stomach. "What's going on?" she hissed at Jake, her voice barely audible above the din. He adjusted his cap, pulled his sunglasses lower, looking utterly unfazed, like this was just another Tuesday afternoon. "Paparazzi? Seriously? Wow, I thought they were just very enthusiastic fans." He actually laughed. "Welcome to my world, Ashley." Ashley crossed her arms tightly. "I want a refund, and definitely no returns." Before she could unleash a full-blown curse, one of the photographers surged forward, camera practically in her face. Ashley instinctively recoiled, stepping back sharply. "Jake, can we just get out of here?" she pleaded, her voice tight with panic. "Relax," Jake said, his voice calm, almost amused. "Just walk normally." "Normally? I'm being hunted like a wild animal." He actually smiled. "Looks like someone doesn't know how to handle the spotlight." Ashley shot him a look that could curdle milk. "Sorry, I wasn't born to be followed by a pack of rabid photographers with cameras." Jake just shrugged, then casually grabbed her arm, guiding her through the throng as if it were just a slightly crowded sidewalk. "Follow me." "As if I have a choice," she muttered, seething. The paparazzi continued to barrage them with questions, desperate for a reaction, for a soundbite, for anything. "Jake, are you confirming the relationship? Is this the same girl from dinner?" Veronica already commented, "Did you cheat on Veronica with this girl?" Ashley's eyes widened. "Cheat? Are you kidding me?" she yelled, stopping dead, staring at the reporters like they'd collectively lost their minds. The flashes intensified, capturing her outraged expression in brutal detail. Jake sighed. "Now you did exactly what they wanted." "And what did you expect me to do?" she demanded. He shrugged again, infuriatingly nonchalant. "Ignore them." "Oh, sure. I'll just pretend they're not turning me into the mistress of the century." Jake actually tried to hide a smile, but a telltale twitch at the corner of his mouth betrayed him. Mistress of the century? Bit dramatic, don't you think? Ashley had to physically restrain herself from punching him. She huffed, snatched her phone from her purse, and began typing furiously, her fingers flying across the screen. Just to clarify, no, I'm not Jake Ryan's girlfriend. No, I'm not anyone's mistress. And no, I don't want any more coffee. Thanks. She hit send with a vengeance. Jake peeked at her screen. That's great for the tabloids. Great? Yeah, now they'll spend the whole week dissecting my anger issues. Ashley had to mentally count to 10 to avoid a full-blown meltdown. Tell me there's a car waiting for us. There is. Jake guided her towards a black SUV parked at the corner, the driver already waiting, holding the door open. Ashley practically dove into the back seat, letting out a sigh of relief as the doors slammed shut, shutting out the relentless barrage of flashes and questions. I hate you, she muttered, slumping back against the leather seat. You don't. Ashley closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She couldn't believe her life had devolved into this celebrity-fueled nightmare. Jake pulled out his phone, tapping away, seemingly unfazed. After a few minutes of strained silence, he glanced over at her. Hey, have you ever actually been to one of my shows? Ashley opened one eye, peering at him suspiciously. Looks like you didn't listen when I said I'm not your fan. Jake smiled, a genuine, almost boyish smile this time. I know, but your friend is. Ashley furrowed her brow. What are you up to now? He shrugged, still smiling. I'm going to send you tickets for my show. Ashley blinked, momentarily speechless. Wait, what? Tomorrow night. VIP tickets. You and your friend. Ashley processed that for a moment, suspicion warring with a flicker of something else. Why? Consider it a thank you for putting up with all this mess. She narrowed her eyes, unconvinced. There's no catch? None. Pure, unadulterated gratitude. Ashley crossed her arms, still dubious. You want me to go to your show? Yes. You want me to mingle with your fans in the VIP section? Yes. Think of it as research, immersion journalism for your Mistress of the Century role. He winked. Ashley pretended to think it over, though she knew Brittany would have a full-scale meltdown if she even considered refusing. Fine, she conceded reluctantly. I'll accept. Great, Jake beamed, genuinely pleased. Ashley looked at him, still suspicious. But know that I'll be judging the whole time. Jake's smile widened. Can't wait. The next day, Ashley stared at her reflection in the mirror, adjusting the outfit Brittany had enthusiastically selected for her. I don't know why I'm doing this, she muttered to herself. Brittany practically bounced into the room, radiating pure, unadulterated excitement. Because I made you! Duh! Ashley rolled her eyes. I knew I'd regret asking you for fashion advice. Brittany completely ignored her sarcasm. We have VIP access, backstage passes, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, and I'm being dragged into a Jake Ryan fan cult. Thrilling. Brittany crossed her arms, feigning offense. You have 2 choices. Go and have fun, or go and be grumpy. Your call. Ashley huffed. I bet Jake's already laughing at me, probably taking bets on how long it takes me to storm out. Brittany grabbed her phone, eyes widening. Actually, he just posted. She shoved the screen in Ashley's face. Jake had posted on Instagram. Tonight's show is going to be epic. Wonder who's going to show up. Ashley knew exactly who that winky face was aimed at. Bastard, she muttered. Brittany laughed, positively giddy. I love this game you two play. They arrived at the stadium, a roaring, pulsating behemoth of sound and light. They were whisked through throngs of screaming fans, escorted directly to the VIP area, a roped-off oasis overlooking the surging ocean of the crowd. Ashley could feel the curious, speculative eyes of some of the other VIP guests on her. She couldn't blame them. If she saw a girl who'd gone viral for being dragged out of a bathroom with Jake Ryan, she'd be suspicious too. Brittany, predictably, was in absolute heaven. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is real life. I can't believe it either, Ashley muttered, but for very different reasons. Then, the stadium lights plunged into darkness. A deafening roar erupted from the crowd, a wave of pure, unbridled energy. Jake Ryan strode onto the stage, bathed in a spotlight, and the cheers became a physical force, shaking the very foundations of the stadium. Ashley had never witnessed anything like it. He grabbed the microphone, a dazzling white smile flashing across his face. How's everyone doing tonight, New York City? The stadium shook with the answering screams. Ashley crossed her arms, a grudging respect beginning to dawn in her. Wow, she murmured. This feels like some kind of summoning ritual. Brittany slapped her arm playfully. Stop being such a buzzkill. This is amazing. Jake started singing, and Ashley had to admit, grudgingly, he was good, really good. His voice was powerful, raw, and undeniably captivating. Brittany shot her a triumphant, "I told you so" look. "You're liking it, huh? Liar." Ashley sighed, rolling her eyes, but a small smile tugged at her lips. "Okay, maybe a little." Brittany clapped her hands together, delighted. Finally, a miracle! But then, something completely unexpected happened. Jake finished a song, the roar of applause washing over him, and he walked to the microphone, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "I want to thank everyone for being here tonight," he said, his voice resonating through the massive stadium. "But especially..." He paused, his gaze sweeping across the VIP section, locking directly on Ashley. Her eyes widened. "Oh no." Brittany squealed beside her, practically vibrating with excitement. "He's talking about you!" Jake grinned, a devilish grin that sent a shiver down Ashley's spine. "I'm sure one certain person has been judging me the whole night." The crowd roared with laughter, understanding dawning in their faces. Ashley wanted to vanish into thin air. Jake actually winked at her, a blatant, theatrical wink. "But it's okay," he continued, his voice laced with playful amusement, "because now she's officially at one of my shows." The crowd erupted in cheers, even louder than before. Ashley couldn't believe it. She had become live entertainment. And worse, she knew with a sinking feeling that this was just the beginning. Ashley was trapped, spotlighted in the VIP area, exposed to thousands of screaming fans by a global superstar who was clearly reveling in her mortification. Jake Ryan had just publicly outed her to an entire stadium. "I'm sure one certain person has been judging me the whole night," he'd said. And now, every single eye in Radio City Music Hall was on her. "Oh no," she groaned under her breath as the crowd roared again, laughter and cheers echoing around her. Brittany, beside her, was practically convulsing with joy. "He's talking about you!" she shrieked, barely audible above the din. Ashley wanted to burrow a hole in the floor and disappear. She glared at Jake on stage, a smug, victorious grin plastered across his face. "This is revenge, isn't it?" she yelled, though she knew there was zero chance he could hear her over the stadium's roar. Jake, of course, just winked again. The bastard. Brittany was clutching Ashley's arm, shaking with excitement. "This is the best moment of my life!" Ashley, however, was in full-blown panic mode. "What do I do? Wave? Respond? Pretend I'm not actually dying of embarrassment?" Summoning a surge of reckless defiance, Ashley squinted, took a deep breath, and raised her hand, flipping Jake the bird. The stadium exploded again, this time with even louder laughter and cheers. Jake, on stage, threw his head back and roared with laughter, pointing directly at her, clearly loving every second of it. "Well," he declared into the microphone, his voice still shaking with amusement, "at least she's got personality." The crowd went completely ballistic, screaming even louder. Brittany nearly passed out from sheer joy. "You're a legend," she gasped. Ashley didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She had never, not even in her wildest, most alcohol-fueled dreams, imagined she'd be publicly flipping off one of the most famous artists in the world in front of thousands of people. But it felt oddly fair. He'd exposed her. She'd retaliated. Jake went back to singing, launching into another high-energy anthem, but every time he moved to the edge of the stage near the VIP section, he'd glance at Ashley, a playful, challenging smile playing on his lips. Brittany was still vibrating with excitement, muttering under her breath, "I will never get over this. Never." "Great," Ashley sighed, "because I'm never going to another one of his shows." "Liar," Brittany retorted instantly. "You loved it." Ashley rolled her eyes. But she knew deep down Brittany was right. She hated admitting it, even to herself, but it had been kind of fun. After the show, Brittany was still walking on air as they were escorted towards the special backstage exit. "That was epic," she kept repeating, eyes wide. "You're going to be in all the news tomorrow." "Exactly what I was trying to avoid," Ashley muttered, rubbing her temples. Brittany completely ignored her negativity. "The best part was your gesture. You basically made history." Ashley sighed. "I just want to go home and pretend this whole night never happened." But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Before they even reached the exit, a woman in a sleek black suit intercepted them. "Miss Ashley?" Ashley stopped, wary. "If this is a lawsuit, I deny everything." The woman smiled, a professional, practiced smile. "Mr. Ryan would like to see you in the dressing room." Brittany let out a muffled squeal that sounded suspiciously like a strangled dolphin. "What?" Ashley felt her stomach plummet. "Now?" "Yes, ma'am." Brittany grabbed Ashley's arms, practically shoving her forward. You have to go. This is your moment. This is destiny. Ashley frantically tried to conjure up a plausible excuse, any reason to avoid a backstage encounter with Jake Ryan, but her mind was stubbornly blank. Sighing in defeat, she looked at the assistant. Fine, she conceded, resigned. Let's just get this over with. In the dressing room, Ashley stepped into a surprisingly luxurious space, all plush velvet couches and gleaming chrome fixtures. Jake was sprawled on the couch, taking a swig of water, still flushed and slightly sweaty from the show. He grinned when he saw her, a genuine, warm grin that made her stomach do a weird little flip. Ah, the star of the night has arrived. Ashley crossed her arms, trying to regain some semblance of composure. If I'm the star, you must be dying of jealousy. Jake laughed, throwing his head back. You've got guts. I'll give you that. She pointed at him accusingly. That was revenge for the coffee date, wasn't it? The whole judging you all night thing. Maybe a little, he admitted, still grinning. Ashley scoffed, shaking her head. This is harassment, pure and simple. Jake's smile widened. You liked it. I did not. You did. I saw you smile. Ashley opened her mouth to deny it, but he wasn't wrong. A small, involuntary smile had flickered across her lips. Amidst the mortification and panic, Jake raised an eyebrow, a silent aha in his expression. Ashley sighed, giving up the pretense of outrage. Okay, maybe a little, but still, you're a jerk. A lovable jerk, he corrected, his eyes twinkling. Ashley rolled her eyes, but didn't disagree. Okay, why am I really here? He grabbed a towel, wiping his face, his movements suddenly less playful, more thoughtful. I wanted to thank you, personally. She narrowed her eyes, suspicious. Thank me? For making this the most talked about show of the year? For becoming your public punching bag? Ashley rolled her eyes again, but this time it was less dismissive, more resigned. Great. Now my life is public entertainment. Jake actually smiled, a softer, more genuine smile this time. You're pretty good at it, you know. I do not want to be good at this. He watched her for a long moment, his expression shifting, becoming contemplative. So, Ashley, she felt a subtle shift in the air, a change in the dynamic between them. There was a new kind of intensity in his voice, a hint of something deeper. What do you think about continuing this nonsense? She blinked, taken aback. Sorry, what? This fake relationship thing, he clarified, gesturing between them. The whole couple of the moment charade. Ashley's eyes widened. You want me to keep pretending to be your girlfriend? Exactly. Ashley took a step back, instinctively putting distance between them. You've lost it. Completely lost it. Jake laughed, a short, disbelieving laugh, but she could see a flicker of something serious in his eyes. I'm serious. So am I, she retorted, her voice rising in disbelief. You've completely lost it. Think about it, he urged, stepping closer, his voice softening. This could be good for you too. How? Ashley demanded, throwing her hands up in exasperation. How could any of this be remotely good for me? I'm being hounded by paparazzi, dissected on gossip blogs, and publicly humiliated by a pop star with a bathroom fetish. Jake grabbed his phone, scrolling quickly, and held it out to her, screen facing her. A gossip website blared across the display. Jake Ryan's mysterious bathroom girl has attitude, charisma, and killer comebacks. Who is Ashley Miller? Ashley narrowed her eyes, staring at the headline. This looks like a trap. Or an opportunity, Jake countered, his voice low, persuasive. She didn't want to admit it, but it did make a strange kind of twisted sense. If her name was going to be plastered all over the internet anyway, if her face was going to be splashed across every tabloid and gossip blog, maybe she could have some control over the narrative. Maybe she could turn this insane situation to her advantage. But agreeing meant plunging even deeper into the chaos, further blurring the lines between reality and the ridiculous lie they'd created. Jake noticed her hesitation, the flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. He gave her a slow, sideways smile, a smile that hinted at something more than just playful teasing. You're thinking about it, he murmured, his voice a low hum. I'm thinking about whether it's worth losing what's left of my sanity, she countered, her voice barely above a whisper. He reached out his hand, extending it towards her, palm up, an unspoken offer. So, Ashley. He held her gaze, his eyes searching. intense. Ashley looked at him, at his outstretched hand, at the swirling vortex of chaos and absurdity that their lives had become, and knew with a sudden chilling certainty that she was standing on the precipice of the biggest, most reckless, most utterly insane mistake of her life. "What do you say?" "I'm such an idiot," she muttered under her breath, but a smile, a small, hesitant, but undeniably real smile, touched her lips, and then she reached out and shook his hand. Jake's smile widened, victorious, like he'd just closed the deal of a lifetime. "Great choice, princess." Ashley wanted to punch him, but now there was no turning back. The mess was just beginning. Ashley sank back against the plush velvet couch in Jake's dressing room, a wave of disbelief washing over her. She had just done what? Shaken Jake Ryan's hand, agreed to perpetuate this insane charade, become a willing participant in this celebrity-manufactured madness. What was happening to her life? Jake, oblivious to her inner turmoil, was grinning like a Cheshire cat. "So it's official now then? You're my fake girlfriend." Ashley groaned, burying her face in her hands. "I regret this already, the very second it happened." Jake leaned against the wall, crossing his arms, still radiating smug satisfaction. "Good to know you admit it." Ashley narrowed her eyes at him through her fingers. "So how's this going to work exactly? Is there a contract, a manual, a YouTube tutorial on fake relationship management?" He laughed, the sound echoing around the opulent dressing room. "We can improvise, wing it, see where it goes." Ashley groaned again, louder this time. "Great. A brilliant plan built on. Let's see what happens." Jake shrugged, infuriatingly nonchalant. "If you don't like the idea, you can back out, anytime." She hated to admit it, but she knew deep down that she was stuck. If she tried to retract her agreement now, if she suddenly declared it was all a lie, the tabloids would go into overdrive. The only way to salvage any semblance of dignity, any chance of escaping this mess with her sanity intact, was to play along, at least for now. "Fine," she conceded grudgingly. "What's the first step, O master of deception?" Jake grabbed his phone, his grin widening. "First step, we post a picture. Together." Ashley's eyes went wide. "What? Are you insane? Can't pretend to be in a whirlwind romance without some photographic evidence, right?" He winked. Ashley rubbed her face, feeling a headache throbbing behind her eyes. "You want me to die of embarrassment, don't you?" "Just a little," he teased. He opened his camera app, stepping closer, his arm brushing hers. "Smile, Ashley. For the cameras." "I'd rather pull out all my own teeth," she muttered, but a tiny, reluctant smile tugged at the corner of her lips. Jake rolled his eyes, but pulled her closer anyway, his arm now draped casually across her shoulders. She stiffened, trying to subtly pull away, but it was too late. The phone clicked. "Picture taken, damage done." "Done," Jake announced triumphantly. Ashley wanted to snatch the phone and erase the photo from existence, wipe it from the face of the internet, pretend it never happened. "If I get chased by psychophans, it's your fault," she warned, her voice tight. Jake just smiled, that infuriatingly charming celebrity smile. "Welcome to fame, princess." The next day, boom, internet meltdown. Ashley and Jake's photo was everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, gossip blogs, news sites, a digital tsunami of speculation and conjecture. Comments went wild, ranging from breathless adoration to outright hostility. "Who is she? They actually look kind of cute together." "Sorry, but this girl is so not his type." "Fake. Publicity stunt 100%. Ashley just stared at her phone screen in pure, unadulterated panic. Brittany, however, was practically vibrating with excitement. "You've become a global event," she shrieked, waving her phone in Ashley's face. "Great, now I'm a public farce," Ashley muttered, sinking deeper into the couch cushions. Brittany ignored her dramatic pronouncements, scrolling through the endless stream of comments, eyes wide. "At least, some people actually believe it," she offered optimistically. Ashley just wanted to dig a hole in the floor and disappear. This is going to be a disaster. Brittany, ever the optimist, grinned. Or, it'll be hilarious. Ashley knew with a sinking certainty that it would be both. Then her phone rang. She glanced at the screen and froze. It was Jake. "Pick up already!" Brittany yelled, bouncing on the balls of her feet. Ashley took a deep breath, bracing herself, and answered. "Hello?" Jake's laughter, light and amused, floated through the line. "Wow, are you already tired of me, darling?" "I was born tired of you," Ashley retorted automatically. "That probably explains a lot." Ashley rolled her eyes, even though he couldn't see her. "Can you just explain this whole dinner tonight thing to me?" "Just a quick little date night," Jake explained, his voice dripping with fake romance. You know, the happy couple needs to make a public appearance. Keep the illusion alive. Ashley huffed, exasperated. You've got to be kidding me. I'm dead serious. I'll send you a dress and pick you up at 8. I'm not your Barbie doll, Jake. But you are my fake girlfriend, Ashley. Ashley bit her lip, fighting back the urge to scream into the phone. I hate you. See you at 8, sweetheart. And he hung up, leaving Ashley staring at her phone, feeling like she was slowly losing her grip on reality. Ashley threw her phone onto the couch, defeated. I've officially lost all control of my life. Brittany, however, was practically jumping up and down with glee. Dinner with Jake Ryan, another date! Oh my god, I think I officially sold my soul to the celebrity gods. Ashley glared at her friend. Yeah, well, enjoy the inferno, because I'm pretty sure that's where we're both headed. She glanced at the text message from Jake, detailing the time and place, and then at the photo of the dress he'd attached. A shimmering, floor-length gown that looked like it belonged on a red carpet, not a forced publicity dinner date. Does this man want me to look like a Disney princess? She muttered incredulously. Brittany gasped, her eyes wide with awe. Well, duh, you've got to match the handsome prince, right? Ashley huffed, rolling her eyes again. He's more like an annoying frog than a Prince Charming. But deep down, beneath the layers of sarcasm and exasperation, a tiny, treacherous flutter of nerves, excitement, maybe even anticipation, stirred within her. She shook her head, trying to dismiss the unsettling feeling. It was all still fake, after all, a performance, a lie. The intercom buzzed, shattering her uneasy thoughts. It's now or never, girl, Brittany declared, pushing Ashley towards the door. Ashley sighed, a dramatic, theatrical sigh. I can still escape through the fire escape, you know. Or, Brittany countered, grabbing Ashley's purse and thrusting it into her hands. You can totally rock this. Show the world what you're made of. Be the mistress of the century they all think you are. Ashley huffed again, a reluctant smile playing on her lips. Fine, she conceded, grabbing her purse. Let's get this circus over with. She took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and headed out the door. When she stepped outside into the warm New York evening air, there he was, Jake Ryan, waiting, leaning against a sleek black luxury car bathed in the soft glow of the streetlights. He was wearing a sharp, tailored suit, looking impossibly handsome, every inch the movie star. He looked her up and down, his eyes lingering on her, and a slow, appreciative smile spread across his face. Wow, he murmured, his voice a low, husky drawl. You almost look like me this way. Ashley raised a perfectly sculpted eyebrow, her heart suddenly hammering a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Watch out, Jake Ryan, she warned, her voice laced with mock severity. Your arrogance is showing. He laughed, a rich, genuine laugh that sent another unexpected shiver down her spine. He moved forward, opening the car door with a flourish. Shall we then? Shall we pretend to be hopelessly, ridiculously, inconveniently in love for a few hours, Miss Miller? Ashley rolled her eyes, but this time the gesture lacked its usual bite. She took his hand, his touch surprisingly warm and firm, and allowed him to guide her into the car. As she settled into the plush leather seat, a strange mix of dread and exhilaration swirling within her, she couldn't help but think, just maybe this wasn't going to be a horror movie after all. Jake got in right after her, sliding into the driver's seat, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Oh, Ashley, he murmured, his voice low and conspiratorial. It's going to be fun. Ashley was absolutely certain his definition of fun was wildly, terrifyingly different from hers. But as the car pulled away from the curb, heading into the glittering expanse of the city night, she knew, with a strange, unsettling certainty, that it was already too late to back out. The event was waiting for them. The cameras were waiting, and the chaos was just beginning.